Let me now remind you, dear brothers and sisters, of the good news I preached to you before you welcomed it then, and you still stand firm in it. It is this good news that saves you if you continue to believe the message I told you. Unless, of course, you believe something that was never true in the first place. I passed on to you what was most important and what had also been passed on to me. Christ died for our sins, just as the scripture said. He was buried and he was raised from the dead on the third day, just as the scripture said. He was seen by Peter and then by the 12 after that. He was seen by more than 500 of his followers at one time, most of whom were still alive, though some have died. Then he was seen by James and later by all the apostles, last of all, as though I had been born at the wrong time. I also saw him, for I am the least of all the apostles. In fact, I'm not even worthy to be called an apostle after the way I persecuted God's church. But whatever I am now, it is all because God poured out his special favor on me, and not without result. For I have worked harder than any of the other apostles, yet it was not I, but God who was working through me by his grace. So it makes no difference whether I preach or they preach, for the same message you have already believed.
Whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will suddenly be destroyed beyond recovery. When the godly are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in power, they groan. The man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father. But if he hangs around with prostitutes, his wealth is wasted. A just king gives stability to his nation, but one who demands bribes destroys it. To flatter friends is to lay a trap for their feet. Evil people are trapped by sin, but the righteous escape, shouting for joy. The godly care about the rights of the poor, the wicked don't care at all. Mockers can get a whole town agitated, but the wise will calm anger. If a wise person takes a fool to court, there will be ranting and ridicule, but no satisfaction. The bloodthirsty hate blameless people, but the upright seek to help them. Fools vent their anger, but the wise quietly hold it back. If a ruler pays attention to liars, all his advisors will be wicked. The poor and the oppressor have this in common: the Lord gives sight to the eyes of both. If a king judges the poor fairly, his throne will last forever. To discipline a child produces wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by an undisciplined child. When the wicked are in authority, sin flourishes, but the godly will live to see their downfall. Whoa. Discipline your children, and they will give you peace of mind and will make your heart glad. When people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild, but whoever obeys the law is joyful. Words alone will not discipline a servant. The words may be understood, but they are not heeded. There is more hope for a fool than for someone to speak without thinking. A servant pampered from childhood will become a rebel. An angry person starts fights. A hot-tempered person commits all kinds of sin. Pride ends in humiliation, while humility brings honor. If you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. You are sworn to tell the truth, but you dare not testify. Fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trust in the Lord means safety. Many seek the ruler's favor, but justice comes from the Lord. The righteous despise the unjust. The wicked despise the godly. The righteous despise the unjust, the wicked despise the godly.
Oh, I should, you know what? Look at that. I almost forgot to turn my mic on, you guys. Seriously, like a little peaked. I don't know. Look, I have been gone for a while, and there was a reason. I was prepping for my surgery, so this cat is driving me nuts. It's going to drive me nuts. He's going to pull my curtain down. I know it. So let me close that up. See, he's climbing up the back of that curtain. Oh, this cat. What a little turkey. He's so cute, though. He's such a little stinker, but he's going to rip it out. I'm sure of it. Well, whatever. Listen, I have a bunch of videos and stuff, but we're going to do some like information updates on the Minnesota fraud thing. I mean, I figured why not? This is the thing that needs to be, I feel like I'm like super, hold on, let me make myself bigger here. Is that better? Okay. Yeah, that's better. So I think we're going to do a fraud update because I've been watching, this cat is driving me nuts. Cat! Stop it. Come here. Come here. Matt, come here. Come here, you little turkey butt. Come here. Come here. Stop this. You guys, this cat is driving me bonkers. Come here, you little stinker. Hold on. Come here, you little stinker butt. Come here. This guy is just a monster. Just a little monster. You stop jumping around. Go and play somewhere else. Will you? Go play. Go. Don't make me put you in my room. Don't make me do it. There he goes. Okay, monster. Okay. Sorry about that. But he's like, I knew he was going to tear this down. He's already torn half of it down. And my kitchen's a little dirty there. So I made dinner and made a mess. So whatever. But anyways, okay. So listen. I have a bunch of stuff. Let's start with today's headlines. How about that? At least the ones that I'm going to kind of talk about, the things that my headlines are. As I've been off work because of the back surgery and stuff, I've been kind of watching a lot of these Minnesota House committee meetings about Mac. Stop it. Stop it. Turkey. He's just a little turkey. He's so good though. He's fun. He's so much fun. He's just a cuddler too, but boy, when he gets to playing, he's just a kitten and he needs to run around. He jumped off my face the other day. It was like a jumping off point for him. It was like boom, 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 right up. It's just, you settle down or I'll put you in the house. Listen, let's watch these videos here. Hold on. Let's do this. This is what we got so far.
Hi friends! Today we're going to talk about conflict in the Middle East. Yay! Conflict in the Middle East! Let's start by giving a warm welcome to our friend Freedom Plane. Hi Freedom Plane! So let's meet our friends. This is our friend Israel. Hi Israel! Well, Israel lives in a neighborhood and he's been there for a really long time, but he's got a lot of neighbors that like to cause a lot of trouble. Do you guys know anybody who likes to cause trouble? You do? Wow. Israel has one neighbor in particular, Iran, who's run by a giant piece of Ayatollah. Good job. And the Ayatollah has been really mean to his neighbor Israel and other neighbors around the world. And he says things like, I'm going to blow you up and I'm going to throw things at you and I'm going to do really mean things. And at the same time, he's also really mean to his own people. And we don't like that. And this has been going on for almost 50 years now. That's a really big number. But there's another friend. Who are these guys? This is the United States and their military. And these guys are stationed on bases all over the world to help protect not only our friends like Israel, but to also keep our country safe and free from really bad neighbors like the Ayatollah. So when the Ayatollah comes in and says those things to the United States, I don't like you and I'm going to blow up your bases and I'm going to hurt your people. Well, that's not very nice and we don't like being threatened as Americans. So what should we do? You're right. We're going to call in our friend. So the United States joins forces with their allies and they call in the one special thing that will fix this whole problem. Freedom Plane. And the Freedom Plane comes in very stealth, very beautiful, and it takes care of that problem in one word, and it's a big word, and it's called deterrence. Say it with me. Deterrence. And it basically means if you fuck around, you're gonna find out.
Yeah, so I like how she put it, so that's why I used that that version. Oh, let me redo myself here. There we go. All right, so I figured we could just play my some video while I'm in the background here. There's some more updates too. Here's another update that we're going to kind of brief over. That was like most of what, that was just the self-explanatory there. Oh, that's not the one I want. Oh, hold on.
Thank you. My name is Ben Bakeberg. I have the privilege to represent the communities of Prior Lake, Jordan, Shakopee, and the surrounding townships. House File 1434 requires digital pornography websites to use age verification to ensure that users trying to access that content or those websites are adults. In the past, if a young person wanted to purchase pornographic magazines or movies, a cashier would check their identification and would stop the purchase if the person wasn't an adult. The simple goal of House File 1434 is to bring that same level of protection in the physical world to the digital world where most of this material is consumed today. We know from research that kids stumble onto pornography accidentally, and a quarter of the kids who stumble onto the content find it on dedicated sites. Legislative action is needed to protect kids because without the statutory requirement and protections, the websites are not regulating themselves. Today, you'll hear about age verification, how it works, and how laws similar to House File 1434 have passed in 25 other states, and how the legislative action is needed to protect kids because without the statutory requirement and protections, the websites are not regulating themselves. Today, you'll hear about age verification, how it works, and how laws similar to House File 1434 have passed in 25 other states, and how the Supreme Court recently affirmed our role as the state legislature to be able to regulate this issue. Thank you to each of
that was like a really big deal because I'm gonna actually show you um, what one of the representatives said, and this was actually the news that du jour a couple of weeks ago. One of the you know what, we'll talk about it after we watch what the other person wanted to actually say about that. Um, Here it is.
I think that it should be within.
No, that's not it. I thought I had it up there, but apparently I don't. Let me share that screen. I'm sorry. I thought that I had it up there. Okay, there we go. Here it is. Okay. This is the one you want to hear. This is this part where Lee Finke comes in, or Lee Fink, the Fink. Oh my God, you guys. It's self-explanatory. Just watch.
Chair Kegel had, I believe.
Very briefly, this would be a question for a court to answer. And the Supreme Court, in setting this test, which is known as the Miller test from the case which it arose from, was essentially saying that it would have to be decided based on what local community standards are, which may be different in your state than from another state, for example. But it's ultimately a decision for a court.
Thank you, Mr. Corby. Final thoughts, Representative Kegel, before we move on to other members.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't trust this Justice Department, and so
Who does?
have very, very reservations about some of this. So thank
I
you.
don't trust anybody.
Duly noted. Thank you. Representative Finke.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Rep. Bakeberg. You during your opening remarks, and I appreciate this, and I agree with what you're saying, that there is an underlying goal in this bill that I agree with. Right? There is something happening in this bill.
Thinks he's a lady, by the way.
Just like people don't have to take me at my word because of who I am, because I often don't. But in this committee, I made it very clear who I am. I put this in the category of some of our.
Oh, you guys, wait, where am I? Okay. Just the nerve, and just to say it, it's like, dude. And there's this meme that I actually put up on Facebook, and I'm like, back in my day, a tranny, transvestite, transgender, they called it whatever. They had all kinds of names. Same thing, a cross-dresser. It's a mental thing. This guy's a cross-dresser. We got a couple of them in the Minnesota House. We got all kinds of them in the Minnesota House. You should see this stuff. I can't make it up. I can't. And so that's why you got to pay attention. Go to those caucuses, become a delegate. Oh, by the way, I made state delegate, you guys. So I'm very happy about being a state delegate and not an alternate this time. I mean, because the last time I went to state and I was an alternate, I was a few down the list. So all these other people had to not show up, and that did not happen. And then there were these other open delegate seats, and people weren't, paying enough attention to constantly fill those seats, in my opinion, because I was watching voting cards walk off the voting room floor, and it really pissed me off. And I talked about it, and you know what? But I'm willing to let it go, because this time around, guess what? I'm going to state central and the state convention, and we're gonna ride this whole governor thing out. There's a lot of people, and it's in that governor's race, and so and then there's also the matter of the attorney general seat, secretary of state seat. There's a lot of open seats in the Minnesota House, or in the Minnesota Congress, legislature, all of it. This is the whole Minnesota state government. Basically, there are so many open seats that are things that are going to be moving around. And so I got to try to be mindful of all the different actors. And this particular person, I don't know that they're up against anybody this year. I haven't even looked in that. It's not my district. They're not from my district. I have no real voice over there other than to help whoever is running against them to try to win over a Democrat. And so that's kind of the goal here. Any Democrat seat that is up, and the goal is this summer to help, because we got to get this done. We got to move the Democrat moderates, I guess, into conservative, onto the conservative side. And that's what, needs to happen in order for us to take this. That will help. As far as the fraud
For bills,
like,
I do not want people to have access to things that do harm to them when they are young.
So listen to this.
And I use this as a precursor because a lot of terrible things are said about me and what I believe and what I want. And I want to support the basic part of this. So, but above that, I want to talk about some of these bills. You mentioned 25 other states have bills like this, and those bills are not used to do that. Right. These bills are very specific. I mean, they used to do that, but they're also used to do an entire another category of work. And you mentioned the Paxton case, and the AGs in many states are very clear about that. They're almost jubilant about being able to use these laws to ban young people from accessing content that could be educational if they are queer. And
what? Did he just say to access content if they are queer? So apparently underage queer kids should have access to porn is what this dude just said. This is what this dude just said. This dude who looks like a lady, who's trying to be a lady. Oh my God. This is what we're dealing. You guys, seriously. This is what we are dealing with here. This is exactly what we're dealing with here in Minnesota. It's hard fighting stupid. It's really friggin' hard. These are demons. These are not regular things. These are demons, and we need prayer. That is the only thing that will fight this. We can do this all day long, this back and forth with them, but it's only prayer and even fasting, actually, that will really help Minnesota. So if you have it in if you have it in you, do some prayer. And if you get a chance, fast if you can. If you can do it, don't fast. Don't say you're going to fast and then don't do it. It's okay to not fast. That's not required, but you should pray. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
you're a principal. You have LGBT students in your school, and we also know clear about that. They're almost jubilant about being able to use these laws to ban young people from accessing content that could be educational if they are queer. But in this committee, I've made it very clear who I am. I put this in the category of some of our liquor bills. Like, I do not want people to have access to things that do harm to them when they are young. And I use this as a precursor because a lot of terrible things are said about me and what I believe and what I want. And I want to support the basic part of this. So, but above that, I want to talk about some of these bills. You mentioned 25 other states have bills like this, and those bills are not used to do that, right? These bills are very specific. I mean, they used to do that, but they're also used to do an entire another category of work. And you mentioned the Paxton case, and the AGs in many states are very clear about that. They're almost jubilant about being able to use these laws to ban young people from accessing content that could be educational if they are queer. And you're a principal, you have LGBT students in your school, and we also know that they're not receiving sex education.
Why did anybody not gasp?
We know that prurient interest could be, for many people, the very existence of transgender kids. More and more people are saying there simply are no transgender kids. to transgender kids, that is a problem. And if the law like this, which is pretty clear here that there's a lot of ability to define what is prurient and what lacks value. I want to know directly.
Well, you know, obviously he's under the thought process that porn has so much value. Is that a family value? What kind of value? Because back in my day, they used to have what they called virtues, you know, honesty, doing the right thing, integrity, things like that, kindness, you know, empathy, those kinds of things, but not smut, not sexual desire. That's not, no, that wasn't part of the virtue system. In fact, chastity is the virtue. Okay, this guy, I swear to God, you guys, these are demons. They're demons. And like I said, we need your prayers because this guy, I don't know when they're going away, but I'll tell you what, it's ridiculous that we even have this as a representative in Minnesota. What neighborhood is this? What's wrong with those people that they don't even go to their meetings, I'm guessing? Because who would willingly vote for this person? Knowing he's got to be a freaking pervert. Why is he even thinking this way? It's just absurd.
Look, can we get this bill to a place where we can agree we will not use this against content that is designed for people under 18 to educate them about themselves, their lives, their community? Because you have a list of things in here that I want children not to access. But I know how attorney generals are using
heterosexual
data
sex
requests to get young people's
but
names
you want them to
who are
see
accessing
sex.
transgender content.
Okay, so that's basically
We can
what
say
he's not okay with the heterosexual. This is how I'm hearing it. He's not okay with heterosexual porn. He's okay with queer porn for children, but not hetero porn for children. Mac, my cat. Okay, I don't know about
that's
this
not going to happen, but we see it happening. So we in Minnesota, we protect everyone. And I just want to know from you, from the people who are behind this bill, this is not a weapon to penalize trans kids or LGBT kids once we have a different attorney general in that office.
Representative
Oh
Baker.
my God.
Thank you,
What is he
Representative.
trying to say? Is he trying to say that that the attorney general is going to charge children with porn? Is that what he's saying? It's a real struggle, you guys. It's a struggle every day. But wait, there's more. There's so much more. You know what? I look at these leaders and this is how I see it. I see that they like how God gave charge over Israel, you know, to these leaders of the land, and they just became corrupt and weren't looking after their flock. They were looking out for lining their own pockets and things like that. So I put this video together. I put a couple. There's two of them, and it's Ezekiel 34, 1 through I think it's like 24 altogether, but it's in two parts. So I'm going to play the first part. It's just a few minutes long, like 3-4 minutes. Check this out. I thought it was pretty cool. I hope you like it. Check it. Oh, wait. I don't know what this one. Oh, I already played that one. So let's redo that. Here it is.
Then this message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, prophecy against the shepherds, the leaders of Israel. Give them this message from the sovereign Lord. What sorrow awaits you shepherds who feed yourselves instead of your flocks? Shouldn't shepherds feed their sheep? You drink the milk, wear the wool, and butcher the best animals, but you let your flocks starve. You have not taken care of the weak. You have not tended the sick or bound up the injured. You have not gone looking for those who have wandered away and are lost. Instead, you have ruled them with harshness and cruelty. So my sheep have been scattered without a shepherd, and they are easy prey for any wild animal. They have wandered through all the mountains and all the hills across the face of the earth, yet no one has gone to search for them. Therefore, you shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. As surely as I live, says the sovereign Lord, you abandoned my flock and left them to be attacked by every wild animal. And though you were my shepherds, you didn't search for my sheep when they were lost. You took care of yourselves and left the sheep to starve. Therefore, you shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. The sheep will no longer be their prey.
Who will hold.
I just realized I can't believe I just did this again. I can't believe I just had, where am I? There I am. Hold on a second. Where is my thingy here? Because I'm like all discombobulated. Let me close this because I don't think I need that anymore. Let's do that. I'm trying to find my, oh, there it is. Okay. It's behind about 13 screens, you guys. I'm like going, oh shoot. I don't know if I'm in there twice now. Hold on. There I am. Okay. Oh, you guys. I need, you know what? I need a producer. I need a second because I can't do all these things and think about everything at the same time. And there's a way to set it all up so that it's just bam, bam, bam. And I've been able to do that. But right now I'm on so much medication that I'm sorry. Today's just one of those days where my brain's kind of all over the place. So I apologize for that. But I did want to share this other one with you because this guy was appointed to kind of look into the fraud and find out where it is or whatever. I don't know, to, some sort of an auditor type person of the fraud. And so this guy testifies, and I could not. Let's just start with Tim Walz appointed this guy to do it. Totally independent guy, okay? And this is what he says. Where is it? Why is it not adding to stage? Or is it?
Accountable. We'll say, instead of checking those 12 boxes,
Hold on.
each agency who will hold people accountable. We'll say, instead of checking those 12 boxes on your annual form, we'll say, okay, here's the recommendations that came out of the legislature. Here are the priorities from this roadmap. So in this agency, you need to do these 6 things, right? Okay, we're not gonna wait a year. We need somebody to sit down with you in 2 months and say, okay, of those 6, where are you? 1, 2, and 3 are done. 4, 5, and 6, we're way behind. Why are you behind schedule? What are the obstacles? Let's get them out of the way and let's keep this moving.
Thank you for that. It sounds surprisingly much like an independent Office of Inspector General that you're suggesting. Would you support the Senate bill that passed last year to create an independent Office of Inspector General?
Madam Chair, I would support putting someone in place to do what I just described, whether that's an Office of Inspector General or in another format, like I mentioned, the consent decrees, but you need somebody with that independence that is the point person that will come, and ideally in some public forum, okay? A year ago, I don't think any of us could have imagined what was going to take place in the state of Minnesota in the last several months, in the last 6 months, the last year. History has taught us something else is going to happen. Right? We probably don't even know what it is, but we cannot lose sight of the importance of combating fraud. And if it doesn't get kickstarted now, if actions aren't taken now to set the stage, then it will never get embedded in the practices, and that culture will not change.
I agree with that. My concern is your report, you suggest that independent oversight monitor is appointed. Who do you think should make that appointment?
Well, Madam Chair, I think the obvious answer would be the governor.
That's where I lost it. I was like, is this guy joking? The governor? Really? So he believes, after all of his assessment and everything, that somebody should be appointed by the governor. And he goes on to say how he thinks that he should be able to give input on who that will be. So basically, he wants to tell us who he thinks, and you should see his acting skills are shit. They're gross. It's terrible, you guys. This guy's he's just an actor. He's paid. He's a paid actor. His name's, what is it? Tom what the hell was his name? O'Donnell or something? Tim O'Donnell or something? I don't remember. I don't remember what this guy's something. He'll say it here in a second. Here's more.
This body, and I think if it is someone with true independence, that'll become known. And if it isn't, if there's undue influence, the public scrutiny of that, I can speak from my experience. You asked me if I've looked at the governor's legislation. I have not. I may in the future here. I was going to be here last week, but I was unavailable. But I am going to stay engaged as part of this transition. But I will tell you that I've had complete independence. As you know, you saw the roadmap, as did the other legislators here and the governor and commissioners all at the same time. Nobody reviewed it, nobody edited it. I was given freedom to make whatever recommendations I want. So I think there is an opportunity to have someone with that same level of independence. It was easier now for me than it would be long-term. I would agree with that. But I think that the key there is that everybody still pays attention, and especially in some public forum. And if the person is not given that independence, it'll be on the front page and they'll probably walk.
I wish that.
So the weird thing is that he wasn't okay with an independent inspector general's office. They started going into, whether or not he, it should be part of the executive branch or not, or independent of that. So I don't know if it's interesting. I find it very interesting. So here's another clip of, I don't know if this is part of.
Knowledge that there have been changes and fresh energy to stop fraud, and we appreciate your role in that. But Will, if you wouldn't mind, I have not seen the culture change. And despite
she plays some good
more than a year of
here.
hearings
Check
in this
out.
committee, multiple hearings in DC, multiple reports, including an OLA report in January of this year showing how Behavioral Health Division employees falsified and backdated documents. Like, we still don't have, in my estimation, leadership who is taking this seriously. And so I'm glad to hear you think differently, but I am imploring you to continue to push for that. And to that end, just to illustrate for you, because you may not have seen it, and for the public, I would like Will to play a few quotes, all from the last probably 13 months. So this is when this was well out in the open. People were talking about fraud. We had plenty of OLA reports for decades, as your report points out, and this is still the response of leadership. Quote, clip one, Will, please. This was January of 2025. Former Commissioner Jody Harpstead.
Year ago.
We do have to take that much into consideration because there's a lot of rumors of fraud more than there is actual fraud. And
so a year ago, the commissioner said there were more rumors of fraud than actual fraud. Okay, next. Will, if you wouldn't mind doing the MMB. So as you may know, Judge O'Malley, the Minnesota Management and Budget Department has statutory responsibility for internal controls over all state agencies. And one of what's most frustrating to me is that we had a hearing with them in January, and they claimed that they didn't really see, well, you'll see the clip in a minute. So, Will, why don't you run that clip, and then I'll do a follow-up question.
When that policy was violated in this instance, what are you doing about it? What happens when there's a policy violation?
Madam Chair, if there's a policy violation, there is, again, kind of similar to what MMB was discussing, there is not kind of an enforcement mechanism that the Department of Administration has.
So what kind of enforcement mechanism do you need? MMB, do you care to comment on this? Like, to me, this is the crux of the problem, right? We have one agency responsible for grants, one agency responsible for all the other finances of the state. And in both cases, you have a lot of policies, a lot of procedures, but when they're violated, no one does anything.
So forgive me, that clip was for the head of, for someone from Office of Grants Management. But previous to that, the commissioner of MMB had said the same thing. She said, well, we don't really see it as our role to enforce. We see it as our role to come along and support the agency so they can be successful. And she proceeded to say that the way that they check for internal control compliance in each agency is a self-attestation report from agency heads. So when you have looked at this, and we know MMB has statutory responsibility for internal controls, they do not seem to be doing their job. How would you suggest we hold them accountable for their responsibility or provide more specific direction to them? I offered, I'm like, you tell me the tools you need, I will introduce the bill, let's go, and they didn't have an answer. How can we get at this when the leadership of these agencies is not taking it seriously?
So I think what's going on is, there's several things that are being said here when it comes to the fraud that's happening. And I've been watching these committee meetings. I watched today's, I watched yesterday's. I still have way more to watch because there's a couple that I missed. But it's 2 hours here, 2 hours there. And then the thing is that these things are happening simultaneously, so there's different committees. And so for us to be on top of it, we are watching this 24/7, and I'm watching this stuff. I'm starting to get it to where I can watch it at a 3 times rate speed, which is, I'm getting there, you guys. Hopefully I'll get up to 4 like some people can, but it's a lot of information and trying to glean through it and give you guys the highlights. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. So if you're in Minnesota, the update here now is that the fraud is being recognized, but nobody is doing anything, any sort of enforcement. They're just allowing it and doing waivers and continuance and allowing another 30 days or another 30 or whatever it is. Nobody's losing benefits, there needs to be some sort of SOP. So I'm shocked that there isn't. They're mean to tell me, or is there, and they're just not following it because they feel bad taking away benefits from somebody who they think, although here's clearly marked rules and guidelines on who gets the benefits and who doesn't. Stop with this waiver bullshit. That's starting to piss me off because I'm hearing more and more about how like 73% of certain programs are waivers. Wait a second here, because somebody at the office decided to give them a waiver so that they can get the benefits, and they continue on with these waivers. And so who's responsible? Some worker down at the who's clerking this information in these departments is basically giving away all of my money to just whoever, without following the guidelines. And there needs to be some sort of repercussions on this. They need to be made aware that this is not okay. And I just don't know that that's really happening. And maybe it is. They were talking about somebody in the behavioral health, the OLA report was saying that the workers, the employees in the behavioral health division were falsifying records and documents, post-dating or backdating them and everything. So this is during these investigations that have been going on. And so that's a huge problem. So now they're falsifying, documents, and they're, hi, Farmer Fred. I'm just here doing Minnesota updates, the Minnesota fraud, trying to keep people apprised of the situation. Pray for Minnesota, Farmer Fred. I need it. We need it. I have back surgery. I've been out of commission, but oh my gosh, I don't even know. It seems like a really big scar. Ugh, yucky. But whatever, I don't care. I'm glad it got done. Still pretty tender. The incision is pretty tender still. I'm able to sit a little bit longer. This is actually a really long time for me. but so this is going to be kind of like a shorter stream because I can only sit up, for a couple hours at a time merely, and then I got to kind of rest it because it does, the tissue around it is still kind of swollen. But yeah, they got rid of a couple of cysts on my spine, and so I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, I'm believing that I'm not going to go jogging anymore. I won't start that. I won't do that again because that's just bad on my knees, but I'm looking forward to doing my long walks again. And so I'm excited about all that. So let's see. The other one, you know what? I kind of had the second part, and this is the second part of this, Ezekiel 34, that second part of it. It's kind of like, I think it's like 6 or 7 minutes long. So it's kind of like my little intermission. So I can take I just got to rest my back for 5 minutes for me. And then I will be back after this and we'll chit chat about other stuff. Okay. And show you other stuff. Okay. Bye. Bye. Bye.
For this is what the sovereign Lord says.
I myself will search and find my sheep. I will be like a shepherd looking for his scattered flock. I will find my sheep and rescue them from all the places where they were scattered on that dark and cloudy day. I will bring them back home to their own land of Israel from among the peoples and nations. I will feed them on the mountains of Israel and by the rivers and in all the places where people live. Yes, I will give them good pasture land on the high hills of Israel. They will lie down in pleasant places and feed in the lush pastures of the hills. I myself will tend my sheep and give them a place to lie down in peace. To the sovereign Lord, 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 Lord. I will search for my lost ones who strayed away, and I will bring them safely home again. I will bandage the injured and strengthen the weak, but I will destroy those who are fat and powerful. I will feed them! Yes! Feed them justice! And as for you, my flock, this is what the sovereign Lord says to his people. I will judge between one animal of the flock and another, separating the sheep from the goats. Isn't it enough for you to keep the best of the pastures for yourselves? Must you also trample down the rest? Isn't it enough for you to drink clear water for yourselves? Must you also muddy the rest with your feet? Why must my flock eat what you have trampled down and drink water you have fouled? This is what the sovereign Lord says. I will surely judge between the fat sheep and the scrawny sheep. For you, fat sheep pushed and butted and crowded my sick and hungry flock until you scattered them to distant lands. So I will rescue my flock, and they will no longer be of you. I will judge between one animal of the flock and another, and I will set over them one shepherd, my servant David. He will feed them and be a shepherd to them, and I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant
this is what the sovereign Lord says.
For this is I, my servant David, we will feed them and be a shepherd to them.
And I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David will be a prince among my people. I, the Lord, have spoken.
I myself will search and find my
For this is what the sovereign Lord says.
I myself will search and find my I myself will search and find I myself will search and find my sheep. I myself will search and find my sheep. I myself will search and find my sheep. I myself will search and find I myself will search I myself will search and find my 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 I myself will search.
For this is what the sovereign Lord, this is what the sovereign Lord, this is what I myself will search and find my sheep.
I myself will search. I myself will search. I myself will search. I myself will search and I myself will. I myself will search. I myself will search and find my sheep. 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 I myself will search.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that one. That I had a lot of fun making because I was like, how am I going to get them to know this is all scripture? Just, But anyways, I guess I figured it out. Those were fun to make. There's a couple more. Boy, oh boy, you guys. I have a lot of videos that there's so many, I just can't get to them all. And I've been doing a lot of paintings. So I was working on that painting. Where's my, here, hold on. Let me pull up there you go. So I was working on this one. I guess I could hit play. And I actually put that one to some music. There we go. Let's go over here. There we go. Keep going. This is actually one of the paintings I was painting when I was listening to Elle. Oh gosh, it was a couple weeks ago. And I paint a lot when I'm listening to her, so I'm sitting here talking. So sometimes I'm not paying attention to her chat and stuff. But just so you guys know, this is what I'm usually doing when I'm listening to other people, podcast or whatever. I'm painting or I'm listening to a lot of stuff. What I'm painting. So just so you know, that's what I was listening to when I painted this. And I think I was making a lot of comments. Sometime I'll have to play the comments for you. I'm just like, I crack up sometimes when I'm watching other people. And so it's kind of fun. So I put this one together and I actually have a final video that I'll play at the end. That's got the whole painting. It's like a 3-4 minute video. And but I did make another video in the meantime. Part of it, let me see if I have me see which videos I have here because I actually did half a video. Oh, let me put it over here. Half a video. Gosh. And then I was like, I only did like a part of the song. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'll do the whole song. I don't know. So I ended up doing, what did I end up doing? What was the total thing? Let me see. Is this the one I did? Okay. Okay, so what's the matter, kitty? This one's just the short version, unless what is this one? Is this the full? No, I don't know where the full version is. Maybe I don't have the full version on here. It was just I was able to add a little bit more to it because this whole vision that I had when I was in prayer one day, I was in morning prayer with church, and I just suddenly, I was on a break, in fact, and I suddenly had this vision, and it was just so cool about this bird going through this dark tunnel, and it was just it's just really cool. And so I keep adding little elements to it because, you know, it's just a way to tune things a little bit more. Let me play it's like 1 minute and 20 seconds. Let me play that for you because it's kind of cool. And I thought maybe, you know, maybe you guys might enjoy it. I enjoyed making it. If I find the full thing where I just added other stuff just to complete the full song because I thought it was interesting. Oh, you know what? I think the full version's on YouTube. I think I did upload that. Let's do that. I think that's where it is. Let's do that. I'm going to bet it is videos. Then we'll pull it up that way. Yep, there it is. I'll be a monkey's uncle. So we'll play the full version that I made, but it's really not even, it doesn't even have hold on, it doesn't have the very beginning part of that I really liked. So I don't think that I'm going to play that one. You guys can check it out later. I'm going to play my version. I just noticed that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Here we go. Check it out.
L'âme en peine, il vit mais par la peine. Il attend devant cette photo d'antan. Il n'est pas fou, il y croit c'est tout. Il la voit partout, il attend debout. Une rose à la main, à part elle il n'attend rien. Rien autour n'a de sens et l'air est lourd. Le regard absent, il est seul et lui parle souvent.
So that was that. There is a full version of the song. The song's called Love Story. And it is by, oh golly, I don't know what the name of it is. It is called, I can tell you. Videos. It's called Love Story by Indila. Indala, something like that. Anyways, I put the link in the description, so if you want to go and listen to the music, you can definitely, or make your own video with it. That is available too. There was some other stuff that I was looking at on the interwebs. You know, we've just had a heck of a time here in Minnesota trying to get a hold or get a hold of what. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say get a hold of, but to enforce any type of penalties when it comes to the fraud. They're just reluctant to do it, and I don't know why. They don't want to. They don't want to. Even the people that are getting charged are getting the convictions thrown out by judges. It's just a game, and it's like it's just gonna go away just like it always has. But I don't think that I think that this has gotten to a precipice. This has to change, and Minnesota's gonna be made an example of. I'm pretty sure of it. If not, I kind of wish that the federal government would make an example out of Minnesota. And just, I like that they're not giving just money away anymore to Minnesota, because obviously they can't be trusted. And even without that federal, or even with, well, I don't know how it's going to be without that federal money and what the programs are going to be like, but I know that there was a surplus. I thought they said, like, was it 1.3 billion or 3 billion or something surplus in our budget. So I'm sure they'll have that all spent. I don't know what they plan on doing, but a lot of these programs, basically everybody's trying to re-up their little pet projects, and they're regulating and doing all kinds of other stuff. And I think that what they need to do is go back through the books and find out exactly what these penalties are. I mean, I don't understand why they can't enforce things. It's just become quite the hot mess, and it's become very, very, very frustrating for the people of Minnesota, and probably for the rest of the country. I mean, it's even though President Trump more recently has been saying that the price of gas or oil and stuff is all that's going down. We're going to see a huge drop. You know what? Here in Minnesota, they have so much gas tax. It's ridiculous. There's so much tax on gas. So that's not going to get removed. Oh my God, I got this ice pack on my back, and it's making me itch. So I got to take it out. So I'll have to. Frozen. I gotta go lay down. That's it. I'm gonna play the video. You guys, I can't sit up this long. It's just too long for me. Hopefully I'll get better. I might even go live tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I'm just gonna be home painting mostly and trying to get up more and more frequently. But I can only sit up for a certain period of time, you guys. Just so you know, I was elected state delegate again. So yay for me. I'm excited about that. But in the meantime, maybe I'll put some more stuff together. I'm going to try to keep everybody apprised of the situation of what's going on here in Minnesota. It seems like there's similar protests. What's going on in the other committee meetings is that Minneapolis is fighting hard, and the city council of Minneapolis is telling everybody that, basically they don't have to worry about paying rent for next month, because what are you doing? Because they're going to cover it, apparently. Yeah, you got to go. You got to get out of here, buckaroo. Yeah, you stop running around me. Yeah, no, I know. He's very vocal. He's just a little whiner. He just wants to play. So, anyways. But yeah, they're telling people that they don't have to pay their freaking rent and not have to worry about getting evicted, basically. So now all these you should read the comments section on some of this stuff. Minnesota House actually doesn't even allow comments on these, because because they don't want to hear what the public has to say, basically, which is pathetic to me, because I that's the first place that I would really want to go. I would almost try to get a registered number so that you could make comment. You know what I mean? There's got to be some sort of cool platform to make that happen, you know? I don't know. But anyways, let's take you out with this last video. And that's actually of this painting, and I hope that you enjoy it. I enjoyed making the video and the painting. It was a lot of fun. So God bless you guys. I will see you again soon when I'm feeling better. And it was just, it's been a long few weeks, and so hopefully I have another week off. So hopefully I'll get some stuff to do here online. Okay. Bye guys. Have a good one.
Light in my darkness, you step into my world, you illuminate it. Expose my brokenness, you restore me. You give me a life that is worth living for, worth dying for. Perfect morning star, your mercy new and fresh with every sunrise. Awake me from my slumber, you give me new eyes. Mesmerized by perfect love at first sight, and my heart cries to know you, dear God, is heaven on earth, heaven on earth, heaven, heaven on earth. To have you here, God, is heaven on earth. Oh, to know you, dear God, is heaven on earth, heaven on earth, heaven, heaven on earth. To have you here, God, is heaven on earth. Ageless one, the word that spoke the world into existence. Beyond its death, you reign in all of your brilliance. Your throne is my horizon. Your kingdom come, your will done. You've quenched my wanderlust. I patiently, I will wait on this side of eternity. You're preparing a place where eternally I'll sing holy, holy. So I'll just start right now to know you, dear God, is heaven on earth, heaven on earth, heaven, heaven on earth. To have you here, God, is heaven on earth. Oh, to know you, dear God, is heaven on earth, heaven on earth, heaven, heaven on earth. To have you here, God, is heaven on earth. Yeah, they can have it all, but give me you. Nothing else will do. I have what is true.